Awakening, you open your eyes. The world comes to you slowly, in pieces. First, there is coldness, a deep, penetrating cold that settles in your bones. Then comes the vibration, a steady, rhythmic trembling beneath you, the engine. You remember now. You're behind the wheel. Your fingers rest on worn leather. The steering wheel feels familiar, smooth from countless hands before yours. You blink, and the dawn light filters through a windshield covered in frost. Delicate crystalline patterns that catch the pale morning sun. You are sitting in a supply truck, a GMC CCKW. They call it a Jimmy. The canvas top flaps gently in the cold morning breeze, making a soft, whispering sound like breathing. The seat beneath you is hard, uncomfortable, but you've grown used to it. Around you, the world is waking. You hear the idle of other engines, a low, comforting rumble. Other trucks sit in formation, their shapes dark against the lightening sky. Steam rises from exhaust pipes, curling upward, disappearing into the cold air. Somewhere in the distance, very far away, you hear a sound like thunder. But it isn't thunder. You know what it is. But here, in this moment, it feels distant, unreal. Your breath comes out in small clouds. You wiggle your toes inside your boots, army-issue leather boots. They're stiff with cold. You wore 2 pairs of wool socks, government issue, dyed olive drab. They still don't keep your feet truly warm. Nothing seems to keep you truly warm anymore. The dashboard in front of you is simple, functional. There's a speedometer, an oil gauge, a fuel gauge. Everything is painted the same flat olive green, the military color that covers everything. Uniforms, trucks, helmets, tents. As if the whole war were painted in this single, muted shade. You look at your hands. They're your hands, but they look older somehow. The skin is rough, calloused. Your fingernails have dirt beneath them that never quite comes clean. You wear wool gloves with the fingers cut off, so you can grip, so you can work, so you can feel. Behind you, in the cargo bed, supplies, wooden crates, stamped with letters and numbers you've learned to read. Ammunition, rations, medical supplies, fuel cans that smell of gasoline even through their sealed caps, canvas bags of mail, letters from home, photographs, small packages wrapped in brown paper and string. Everything is carefully secured, tied down with rope and canvas straps. The cargo must not shift, must not fall. These supplies are going somewhere, to someone. They matter. You stretch your neck, hearing small pops. Your body is stiff. You slept in the cab, fitfully, half dreaming. The seat doesn't recline, so you leaned against the door, your coat bunched under your head. Sleep comes in fragments now, never deep, never complete, always listening, always half alert. The sky grows lighter. Dawn is a quiet time. The world holds its breath. The horizon glows soft pink and amber, colors you'd forgotten existed. Most days are gray, or white, or the color of mud. But this morning, just for a moment, there is beauty. You notice small details now. A spider web stretched between the side mirror and the door, covered in tiny drops of dew, each one catching light like a diamond. Delicate, perfect. Strange that such fragile things survive here, in this place, in this time. A bird calls somewhere. You can't see it, but you hear its song, clear and bright. You don't know what kind of bird it is, but the sound makes something in your chest tighten, something that feels like memory, like home. The convoy begins to stir. Doors open. Men climb down from cabs. Their movements are slow, deliberate. Everyone is tired. Always tired. They stretch. They stamp their feet. They light cigarettes. The smell of tobacco smoke drifts on the cold air. Someone coughs. A deep, rattling cough. Someone else laughs. A short bark of sound. Voices murmur. Low and soft. You can't make out words. Just the sound of human presence. It's comforting. In a strange way. You're not alone. You should start your engine. Your hand moves to the key. The metal is cold against your palm. You turn it. The engine coughs, sputters, then catches. The truck shudders, comes alive. The vibration increases. Stronger now, more insistent. The exhaust pipe releases a cloud of gray smoke that drifts away on the wind. You press the clutch, test the gears. First, second, neutral. The gear shift is stiff. Cold, everything is always cold in the morning. You'll warm up as you drive. The engine will warm, you'll warm. The sun will rise higher, and for a few hours, you won't feel the cold quite so deeply. A whistle blows, sharp, clear, the signal, time to move. The convoy is preparing to roll. You've done this hundreds of times, but still, your heart beats a little faster. Your hands grip the wheel a little tighter. Around you, engines rev, trucks begin to move, one by one, falling into line. You wait your turn, watching the truck ahead of you, keeping distance, proper spacing. That's what you've been taught. Never too close, never too far. The column begins to roll forward, slowly, carefully. Big tires grip the frozen ground. The truck ahead of you lurches, steadies, begins to move. You release the brake, ease out the clutch, press the accelerator. Your truck moves forward, becomes part of the flow, part of the convoy. The road stretches ahead. It's barely a road, more like a track, worn by countless wheels before yours, mud frozen into deep ruts. You feel every bump, every hole. The steering wheel pulls. You correct, hold steady. This is your job. This is what you do. You settle into the rhythm. The truck rocks gently, side to side. Your body moves with it. Instinctive now, your eyes scan ahead, watching for obstacles, for problems. Your ears listen to the engine, knowing its sounds, understanding its language. The world moves past your windows. Fields stretch empty, brown and gray, patches of snow in the shadows. The land feels vast, endless. Trees stand bare, their branches reaching up like skeletal hands. In the distance, far away, hills rise against the sky. You drive, and as you drive, you feel yourself settling, relaxing into motion. The cold recedes a little. The vibration becomes familiar, soothing almost. Your breathing slows, matches the rhythm of the engine. This is your morning. This is your life now. Behind the wheel, moving forward, carrying your cargo, playing your part in something vast, something you don't fully understand, but something that must be done. The sun climbs higher. Light spreads across the landscape, illuminating details you couldn't see before. A ruined building in the distance, a fence line broken and sagging, small signs of life lived and life interrupted. But here, in your truck, in this moment, There is only the road, only the steady rhythm of wheels turning, only the familiar weight of the steering wheel under your hands, only the soft sound of the engine, the creak of canvas, the whisper of wind. Your eyelids grow heavy from the warmth building in the cab, from the gentle rocking motion, from the early hour, but you stay alert. You must stay alert. The road continues, and you continue with it. You drive into the morning, into the day ahead, into whatever waits. And somewhere, deep inside, beneath the cold and the fatigue, beneath the fear you don't acknowledge, you feel something steady, something solid, purpose, duty, the knowledge that your cargo matters, that your journey matters, that you matter. The convoy moves like a long mechanical snake, winding through the frozen landscape, and you are part of it, one truck among many, one driver among thousands, essential, invisible, carrying the weight of war, on wheels that never stop turning. Your breath comes out in gentle clouds. The frost on the windshield begins to melt. The world outside becomes clearer, and you drive on, into the pale morning light, into the unknown, into the story that only you can tell. The road stretches ahead, endless, waiting, and you follow it because that's what you do, that's who you are, a driver, a soldier, a small piece of something vast and terrible and necessary. The morning deepens, the cold persists, the convoy rolls on, and you drift between alertness and memory, between the present moment and thoughts of home, between the vibration of the truck and the soft pull of sleep. But not yet, not yet. There are miles ahead, hours ahead, a destination waiting, somewhere beyond the horizon, beyond your sight, beyond your knowing. So you hold the wheel, you watch the road, you listen to the engine's steady song, and you drive, and drive, and drive, into the day, into the war, into the endless, winding, necessary road ahead. And your eyelids grow heavy, so heavy, as the truck rocks gently, as the engine hums its lullaby, as the world outside blurs, softens, fades into gentle white. You drift, just a little, just for a moment, into something that feels like peace, like rest, like sleep. The weight of distance you've been driving for what feels like hours. The sun has climbed higher now, washing the world in pale, cold light. Your truck maintains its place in the convoy, steady, reliable. The rhythm has become hypnotic, the rumble of engines, the crunch of tires on frozen earth, the gentle sway of motion. You are somewhere in Eastern Europe. The year is 1944, though the exact date has become hazy. Days blend together when you drive. When you live like this, one day becomes another, an endless chain of mornings and roads and destinations. This is the Eastern Front, though that phrase means little to you. It isn't a line, it's a vast, sprawling landscape. Hundreds of miles, thousands of miles of roads and mud and snow, of towns with names you can't pronounce, of rivers crossed and recrossed. You are a supply driver, part of the Red Ball Express, or the Green Diamond, or one of countless supply routes that feed the war machine. Your truck, your precious Jimmy, is one link in a chain that stretches from ports to front lines, from warehouses to battlefields, from safety to danger. The GMC CCKW weighs 2.5 tons empty. The Army calls it a deuce and a half. It can carry 5 tons of cargo, or 36 men. It has 6 wheels, 6 cylinders, and a 4-speed transmission that you've learned to coax and convince rather than force. These trucks were built in factories back home, in Detroit, in Michigan, places that feel like dreams now, like stories someone once told you. Assembly lines where women in coveralls bolted pieces together, where metal became machines, where America's industrial might transformed into olive drab workhorses. More than 500,000 of these trucks were produced. They go everywhere, do everything. They're the backbone of logistics, the unglamorous heart of warfare. Without trucks like yours, armies cannot move, cannot fight, cannot survive. You learned this slowly, gradually. This wasn't what you imagined when you enlisted. You pictured something different, something more. But this is what you received: a truck, a route, a responsibility. The training was brief: mechanical basics, convoy procedures, map reading, radio protocol. Mostly, you learned by doing, by watching experienced drivers, by making mistakes that weren't fatal, by surviving. Behind you, 30 miles back, is a supply depot, a sprawling collection of warehouses and tents where materials from across the ocean are organized, categorized, distributed, mountains of crates, rivers of fuel, oceans of ammunition, all waiting to flow forward, to feed the front. Ahead of you, 40 miles distant, is a forward staging area, where combat units wait, rest, rearm, where your cargo is needed desperately, where soldiers younger than you, or older, or the same age, wait for the supplies that keep them alive, keep them fighting, keep them moving forward. This is your world, the space between rear and front, the road that connects supply and demand. You are neither safe nor endangered. You exist in transition, in motion, in the liminal space where logistics becomes survival. The landscape around you tells stories. Every few miles, you pass evidence of previous convoys, vehicles pushed to the roadside, some burned, blackened shells with wheels melted into grotesque shapes, some simply broken, abandoned when repair became impossible, some fresh, recently pushed aside, some old, rusting slowly into the earth. You don't look too closely. You've learned not to. The wrecks are reminders, warnings, possibilities. Better to keep your eyes forward, on the road, on the truck ahead, on your purpose. The roads themselves are marvels of improvisation. What you drive on barely deserves the name road. In summer, they become rivers of mud. In winter, sheets of ice. The Army Engineering Corps works constantly, filling holes, building bridges, corduroying swampy sections with logs laid perpendicular. Every bridge is temporary. Most are Bailey bridges, portable, modular, sections that can be assembled quickly. They look fragile, like children's building toys. But they hold, they carry the weight. They let you cross rivers that would otherwise stop everything. You've learned to read the landscape, to see danger before it materializes. Certain types of terrain hide problems: sharp curves, steep grades, areas where forests press close to the road, places where someone could wait, where something could happen. But mostly it's just driving, hour after hour, the same view, the same sound, the same task. Your hands on the wheel, your foot on the pedals, your eyes on the road, simple, repetitive, necessary. The other drivers are your companions, though you rarely speak. You know them by their trucks, by their position in convoy, by occasional glimpses at rest stops, brief moments of shared exhaustion, shared understanding. Nobody talks much. What would you say? What words would capture this strange existence? Some drivers are older men, deemed unfit for combat but capable of this. Some are younger, like you, assigned here through the mysterious logic of military bureaucracy. Some are volunteers from other units, preferring wheels to weapons. Some are here because they were injured, recovered enough to drive but not to fight. Together, you form a brotherhood of motion, a fraternity of the road, united not by conversation or camaraderie, but by shared purpose, shared risk, shared tedium. The cargo behind you shifts slightly. You hear it, feel it. This is normal, acceptable. The ropes hold, the ties secure. Everything stays in place. You've learned to distinguish between normal sounds and warning sounds, between acceptable movement and dangerous shifting. In your cargo bed right now, you carry medical supplies, sulfa powder to fight infection, bandages wound tight in oiled paper, plasma in glass bottles, carefully padded, morphine syrettes, small tubes with needles attached, one dose each, labeled clearly, deadly in the wrong hands, life-saving in the right ones. You also carry rations, sea rations in small cardboard boxes. Each box contains a meal, or something approximating a meal, canned meat, crackers, chocolate, instant coffee, cigarettes, all scientifically designed to provide calories, energy, comfort, and ammunition, boxes of rifle cartridges, belts of machine gun rounds, shells for mortars, grenades in wooden crates with rope handles, all carefully packed, carefully labeled, carefully secured. Because ammunition that detonates in your truck bed doesn't care about your purpose, your duty, your life. This knowledge sits with you always. The awareness that you carry destruction, that your cargo could kill you, that one wrong moment, one piece of shrapnel, one stray bullet could transform your truck into a fireball. But you don't think about it, not directly, not often, because thinking about it doesn't help, doesn't change anything, doesn't make you safer, so you focus on the road, on the task, on the next mile, and the next, and the next. The convoy passes through a village, empty now, or nearly so. Buildings stand hollow, windows dark like empty eye sockets, walls pockmarked with bullet holes, roofs collapsed, chimneys standing alone like grave markers. An old woman watches from a doorway. She doesn't wave, doesn't acknowledge your passage, just watches, her face empty, worn. Her life, her world, has been ground down by armies moving back and forth, by war's endless appetite for space, for resources, for survival. You wonder what she thinks, seeing truck after truck, soldier after soldier, war machine after war machine, rolling through what was once her home, her village, her life. But you don't slow, don't stop, don't ask, you keep moving, because that's what you do. The village falls behind. The road continues. The convoy rolls on. Time becomes strange when you drive. Hours compress, expand, disappear. You exist in a perpetual. Present, always now, always this moment, always this truck, this road, this journey. Your mind drifts, wanders, returns. You think of home, family, places and people that seem impossibly distant, impossibly unreal. Did that life exist? Was it you who lived it? It feels like a story about someone else, someone you used to know, someone you might become again, someday, if you survive. But survival is a word you try not to think, because thinking it acknowledges the alternative, and the alternative cannot be contemplated, not while driving, not while carrying cargo, not while maintaining position in convoy. So you drive, and drive, and drive. The sun tracks across the sky, the shadows lengthen, the cold deepens, but you barely notice. You've become part of the truck, part of the convoy, part of the road, an organic component in a mechanical system, a thinking, feeling human piece of military logistics. This is your war, not battles, not heroism, not glory, just this, mile after mile, hour after hour, day after day, driving, delivering, surviving. The army needs drivers more than fighters, needs logistics more than tactics, needs supply more than strategy, because all the courage in the world, all the tactical brilliance, all the fighting spirit means nothing without fuel, ammunition, food, medicine. You are the delivery system. You are the lifeline. You are essential in a way that feels both important and invisible, both critical and forgotten. The road ahead curves gently. The convoy follows. You follow, your hands steady on the wheel, your eyes clear, your purpose simple, your existence reduced to its purest form, movement, direction, delivery, and somewhere, deep in your mind, beneath conscious thought, you feel yourself relaxing. The rhythm of driving has become meditation. The repetition has become ritual. The journey has become almost peaceful. Your eyelids grow heavy from the warmth in the cab, from the gentle vibration, from the endless, soothing, hypnotic rhythm of wheels on road, on road, on road. You drift, just slightly, just for a heartbeat, into that space between waking and sleeping, where thought becomes dream, where memory becomes imagination, where the present dissolves into soft, gentle darkness. But you catch yourself. Your eyes open wider, your grip tightens, you're still driving, still moving, still needed, still here on this road, in this truck. In this war, the convoy continues. The sun descends. The day stretches long, and you drive on into the afternoon light, into the gathering shadows, into the endless, necessary, patient work of war. The long hours, the afternoon deepens into something heavier. The sun hangs low now, casting long shadows across the frozen landscape. Your truck maintains its place, steady as a heartbeat. The convoy has been moving for 8 hours. 9, 10, time blurs, becomes meaningless. There is only driving, only road, only the endless forward motion. Your body aches in ways you've learned to ignore. Your lower back, a constant dull pain from the hard seat. The lack of support, the hours of sitting, you shift your weight left, right, searching for comfort that doesn't exist. Your shoulders are tight, knotted with tension from gripping the wheel, from holding position, from staying alert. Your hands. Your hands are perhaps the worst. Even through gloves, your fingers have gone stiff. The cold seeps through wool and leather, settling into joints, into bones. You flex them, one at a time, keeping blood flowing, keeping them functional. You need your hands. You depend on your hands. The convoy slows, then stops. This happens. Regular intervals. Someone ahead needs to check a map, or adjust a load, or solve a mechanical problem. The whole column stops, waits, starts again, like a massive, segmented creature. Breathing in place. You set the brake, put the transmission in neutral, but you don't turn off the engine. Never turn off the engine unless you must, because starting again in this cold, in these conditions, isn't guaranteed. Better to idle, to wait, to burn fuel than risk silence. You take this moment to stretch, to move, to remind your body it's still alive. Opening the door, you step down. Your legs nearly buckle, stiff from hours of barely moving. You stamp your feet, feeling returns in painful pins and needles. This is good. Pain means life, means sensation, means you're still here. The air outside is bitter, sharp. It fills your lungs and makes you cough. Your breath comes out in great white clouds. Your face numbs almost immediately. Your ears ache. Your nose runs. This is January, or maybe February. The calendar has become as abstract as distance. Around you, other drivers have emerged, dark figures in olive coats. They stand beside their trucks, smoking, or urinating, or checking tires, or simply standing, existing, breathing. No one talks. What would they say? You walk to the back of your truck, inspect your cargo. Everything is secure. The rope's still tight. The canvas still fastened. Good. This is good. You run your hand along a tire, checking pressure by feel. It's low, but not dangerously so. All the tires are always slightly low. There aren't enough working pressure gauges, aren't enough spare tires, aren't enough of anything. The truck itself shows its age, its wear, its hard service. Paint is chipped, revealing bare metal beneath, rust blooming in brown and orange patches. The bumper is dented, bent from backing into something. You can't remember what. The headlights are taped. X patterns of tape that prevent them from shattering under vibration, that reduce glare, that hide light from above. On the door, someone painted a name, Rosie, or Lucky Lady, or Memphis Belle. You can't quite read it anymore. The paint is fading, but every truck has a name, given by previous drivers, inherited like heirlooms. These trucks have history, have stories, have ghosts of men who drove them before you. Some of those men are still driving, somewhere else. Some are not. You touch the hood, feeling the warmth of the engine beneath metal. This warmth is real, tangible, comforting in a strange way. The truck lives, breathes, continues just like you. Whistle blows, short blast, the signal to mount up. The convoy is moving again. You return to your cab, settle into your seat. The warmth you've generated from standing, from moving, begins to fade immediately. The cold reclaims you. You shiver, your body trying to generate heat, trying to maintain itself. The convoy lurches forward. You follow. The routine resumes. The rhythm returns. But now you're more aware of your hunger. You ate this morning. Or was it yesterday morning? A can of cold hash, greasy, congealed, eaten with a spoon from your mess kit, washed down with lukewarm coffee from your canteen, coffee that was hot hours ago. In another lifetime, coffee that now tastes of metal and old grounds and desperation. Your stomach growls, complains, but you have nothing. Food is rationed carefully, distributed at stops, at designated times. You don't eat when you're hungry. You eat when you're allowed. There's a chocolate bar in your pocket. D-ration, emergency food, brick hard. Designed not to melt, not to freeze, not to spoil, more like a weapon than food. You could break teeth on it, but you save it, just in case things get worse, in case you need it more than now. So you ignore the hunger, add it to the catalog of discomforts, back pain, cold hands, stiff legs. Hunger, fatigue, fear, all filed away, acknowledged but not examined, because examining them doesn't help, doesn't change anything, doesn't make you less hungry, less cold, less afraid. The road deteriorates. What was rough becomes worse, deep ruts, frozen solid. Your truck bounces, shudders, fights against the terrain. You grip the wheel tighter, fighting back. Man and machine in partnership against the earth itself. A pothole, deep and sharp. You hit it hard. The whole truck shakes. You hear something break, or shift, or crack. You hold your breath, listening. But the engine continues. The wheels turn. Nothing catastrophic, nothing fatal, just another small wound. Another piece of damage absorbed, endured, ignored. These trucks are remarkable machines. They break constantly, but they also continue constantly. You've learned basic repairs, changing tires in darkness, replacing fuel filters with frozen fingers, patching radiators with soap, wire, hope. Drivers become mechanics by necessity, by circumstance, by survival. You remember one night, 2 weeks ago, or 3. Time is uncertain. Your fuel pump failed, in darkness, in cold that made metal brittle, in isolation between stops. You had to remove it, clean it, reinstall it, by feel, by instinct, by desperate need. And it worked. It ran. It saved you. That's the thing about this life. You discover capabilities you didn't know you had, reserves of patience, of endurance, of determination. The war reveals you to yourself, sometimes in ways you appreciate, sometimes not. The convoy passes a maintenance point, off to the side, sheltered under camouflage netting. You see mechanics working on disabled vehicles. Their hands are black with grease, their faces gray with exhaustion. They work in the cold, in the wind, in the dying light, coaxing life back into metal, resurrecting. Trucks performing mechanical miracles. They look up as you pass. Their eyes follow your convoy, perhaps wondering if your truck will be next. If you'll be the one pulled aside, broken down, waiting, hoping. While the war moves on without you, but your truck continues. Your engine runs. Your wheels turn. You are lucky. For now, for this moment, lucky. The light begins to fail. Sunset comes early in winter. The sky turns from pale blue to gray, to darker gray, to something approaching black. Stars begin to emerge, pinpricks of light in the vast darkness. Indifferent, eternal. Watching wars and convoys and struggling men with perfect, cold, uncaring silence. The convoy doesn't stop for darkness. Can't stop. The schedule is absolute. The needs at the front don't pause for night. So you drive on, into darkness, with only blackout lights to guide you, tiny slits of illumination, barely enough to see the truck ahead. Not enough for safety, just enough for movement. This is when exhaustion becomes dangerous. Your eyelids want to close. Your head wants to drop. Your body craves sleep with an intensity that borders on pain. But you can't. You mustn't. So you sing, quietly, under your breath. Songs from home, songs from childhood, anything to stay alert, to stay present, to stay alive. You slap your face, hard. The sting brings clarity. For a moment, your eyes water. Your cheek burns. You're awake. You're here. You're driving. Coffee would help. But your canteen is empty. You could fill it at the next stop, if there is a next stop, if you reach it. If. The hours blend together. You lose count. 12, 14, 16. How long have you been driving today? When did today even begin? You can't remember. It doesn't matter. There is only now, only this moment, this truck, this road, this cold, this exhaustion, this duty. The truck ahead of you swerves suddenly. Your heart leaps. Adrenaline floods your system. You're instantly alert, awake. Your hands react before your mind, steering, correcting, missing whatever the truck ahead missed. A hole, a debris, a nothing that could have been everything. Your heart pounds, your hands shake. But you're safe, you're intact. The convoy continues. The crisis passes, leaving only elevated pulse, heightened awareness, reminder of fragility, of danger, of luck. This is life on the road. Long periods of tedious monotony, punctuated by moments of sharp terror, boredom and fear in alternating waves. Never quite safe, never quite doomed, existing in probability, in chance. In the narrow space between disaster and deliverance, miles accumulate, uncountable, uncounted. The odometer spins, numbers changing, numbers meaningless. You measure distance not in miles but in hours, in fatigue, in how much longer you can endure, how much farther you can go before you break, before something breaks, before the luck runs out. But you don't think about that, can't think about that. So you focus on small things, immediate things, the vibration of the steering wheel, the sound of the engine, the darkness ahead, one moment, one breath, one heartbeat at a time. Your eyelids grow so heavy, like lead weights, like stones. You force them open, force yourself to focus. The road, the truck ahead, the dashboard, anything, everything. Stay awake, stay alert, stay alive. The convoy drives through the night, and you drive with it, part of the machine, part of the darkness, part of the endless, grinding, necessary movement that feeds war, that sustains combat, that keeps everything, somehow, impossibly, moving forward into darkness, into cold, into the deep, exhausting, hypnotic rhythm of wheels turning and turning and turning, forever, or until dawn, whichever comes first. Your breath comes slow and steady, your eyes half closed, your mind drifting between wakefulness and dreams, between duty and desire, between the road that stretches endlessly ahead and the sleep that waits, patient, inevitable. just beyond reach, just beyond this moment, this mile, this breath, and you drift, drift, drift into the rhythm, into the night, into the gentle, rocking darkness that surrounds, that holds, that whispers, rest, 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 but not yet, not yet. There are miles ahead. There is cargo to deliver. There is purpose to fulfill. So you drive and drive and drive into the night, into the cold, into the endless, patient, waiting darkness. The silent threat's dawn arrives like a whisper. Gray light seeps slowly across the horizon, revealing a world covered in fresh snow. Sometime during the night, while you drove, while your attention focused on the tail lights ahead, the sky opened, soft, silent, covering everything in white. The convoy has been moving for 20 hours now, 22, 24. You've lost precise count. Your body operates on instinct, on training, on something deeper than thought. Your hands hold the wheel, your feet work the pedals, your eyes watch the road, but you, the thinking, feeling, conscious you, has retreated somewhere deep inside, conserving energy, conserving awareness, surviving. The snow changes everything. The road, already treacherous, becomes lethal, hidden beneath white. The ruts and holes and dangers disappear. The surface looks smooth, deceptively peaceful, beautiful even, but underneath waits the same broken terrain, the same frozen earth, the same threats, just invisible now, just waiting. Your truck slides slightly. The rear wheels lose traction. Your heart rate increases. Your hands adjust. Gentle movements. No sudden steering. No sharp corrections. Fighting the slide makes it worse. So you guide, suggest, coax the truck back to stability, back to control, back to safety. This is the dance you've learned. Man and machine and physics, working together or failing together, success measured in fractions, in degrees, in tiny margins between control and catastrophe. Ahead, the convoy slows, then stops. You brake carefully, gently. Too much pressure and y'all skid. Too little and y'all hit the truck ahead, just right, finding the balance. Finding the moment, the truck stops. You exhale. You didn't realize you were holding your breath. The stop stretches. 5 minutes, 10, 15, something is wrong ahead. You feel it, know it. The way you've learned to sense disruption, to read the convoy's collective mood, to understand without being told. You wait, engine idling, using precious fuel, but necessary fuel. Stopping the engine means starting it again, and starting might fail. Battery might be too cold, fuel might have gelled, oil might have thickened. Better to idle, better to waste, better to be ready. Other drivers remain in their cabs, dark shapes behind frosted windshields. No one gets out. Too cold, too dangerous, and pointless. Getting out won't make the convoy move faster, won't solve whatever problem exists ahead, will only add cold, add discomfort, add risk. So you wait. And waiting is its own kind of torture, because waiting allows thought, allows awareness, allows all the carefully suppressed fears to surface, to whisper, to grow. You think about landmines. They're everywhere. Both sides plant them. Mark some, forget others. The snow hides them perfectly. A truck ahead could detonate one. The concussion could chain react. Sympathetic detonation. One mind triggering another. The whole convoy destroyed in seconds. Thunder and fire and metal, and silence, or the mind could be here, right here, under your truck right now, waiting, patient, pressure activated. You're sitting on it, the weight of the truck, your weight, the cargo's weight, all pressing down, holding the trigger mechanism compressed, safe, until you move, until you release the pressure, until you force the thought away, push it down, lock it somewhere dark, because that thought helps nothing, changes nothing. If there's a mind, y'all know soon enough, and if there isn't, the fear is wasted, pointless, destructive. So you breathe slow and steady. You focus on the present, on what you can control, your breathing, your thoughts, your fear, not the mind, not the snow, not the thousand invisible threats that surround you always. The convoy begins moving again, slowly, cautiously. The truck ahead rolls forward. You follow, releasing the brake, feeling the moment of greatest vulnerability. When weight shifts, when pressure changes, when minds, if they exist, would detonate, but nothing happens. The truck moves, you move, life continues. Another moment survived, another fear overcome, another mile possible. The road climbs, ascending a low hill. Your transmission strains. The engine works harder. You downshift, finding the gear that provides power without over-revving, without burning out. The truck slows but continues, grinding upward, fighting gravity, fighting snow, fighting everything at the crest. You see the reason for the stop, a bridge, Bailey Bridge, spanning a frozen river. One section has shifted, sagged, not collapsed, not yet, but damaged. Questionable. The engineers are there, small figures in the snow, examining, calculating, deciding whether it's safe, whether the convoy can cross, whether to risk it or find another route. Another route means hours, means delay, means soldiers at the front waiting longer, needing supplies that sit in your truck bed, in the beds of 100 trucks, waiting, while engineers make decisions, while probability is weighed, while risk is measured against necessity. You watch them work. They place planks, add supports, test weight distribution. They're brave, these engineers, risking their lives to keep the supply line open, to keep the convoy moving, to keep the war fed, unsung, invisible, essential. Finally, a signal. The convoy can cross, one truck at a time. Slow speed, stay centered. No stopping on the bridge. Your turn comes. The truck ahead crosses, reaches the far side. You pull forward, approach the bridge. Your hands tighten on the wheel. Your breathing quickens. This is danger, real, immediate, undeniable. The bridge surface is wooden planks, covered in snow, covered in ice. Your wheels find it. The sound changes, hollow, echoing. You feel the bridge flex, feel it give, feel it holding. Barely, just enough. Don't think. Just drive, steady speed, steady line. Don't look down. Don't look at the frozen river below. Don't imagine falling, breaking through, the truck sinking. You trapped. The cold water, the darkness. Just drive, just breathe. Just continue. Halfway across, the bridge groans, a deep, metal sound, structural stress, weight pushing limits, but it holds, it holds. You're past the damaged section now, almost across, almost safe. The far bank, solid ground. Your wheels leave the bridge, touch earth, grip, hold, you've made it, you're across, you're alive. Your whole body shakes, adrenaline draining, leaving weakness, leaving exhaustion, leaving relief so intense it almost hurts. But there's no time to process. The convoy continues. You continue. The next truck approaches the bridge, and the next, and the next. How many threats are invisible? You think about this as you drive, as the bridge falls behind, as the morning progresses. How much danger never announces itself, never makes itself known until it's too late, or never makes itself known at all because you survive it, pass by it, avoid it through luck, through chance, through grace. Ambushes that never happen because the enemy chose different ground, chose different timing, or isn't there at all. Artillery shells that land 30 feet left instead of 30 feet right. The difference between life and death measured in arbitrary numbers, in chaos, in fortune. Mechanical failures that happen at safe moments instead of dangerous ones. Brakes that fail in camp instead of on mountain roads. Tires that blow when you're stopped instead of when you're moving. Timing that saves, that kills, that determines everything. And the threats inside yourself. The exhaustion that makes you hallucinate, makes you see things that aren't there. Movement in shadows, figures in fog, enemies in empty landscape, your mind playing tricks, your nervous system creating danger to justify its constant state of alert, or the opposite, the exhaustion that makes you dull, slow, unresponsive, that makes you miss real dangers, real threats, that makes you vulnerable when you most need to be sharp. The fear itself, the way it accumulates, day after day, mile after mile, building up like sediment, like deposits, until one day you realize you're afraid of everything, afraid always. Fear has become your default state, your baseline, your new normal, and the guilt of wanting to survive when others don't. The guilt of having an easy job, driving, when others fight, when others bleed. The guilt of being grateful for this role, for this distance from combat, while simultaneously resenting it, wanting recognition, wanting acknowledgement, wanting someone to understand that this too is hard, this too is dangerous, this too matters. The convoy passes a wrecked vehicle, not one of yours, different markings, different army, pushed to the roadside, burned. The metal blackened, the interior gutted, snow collecting in the cavity where the cab used to be, where a driver used to sit, where someone like you used to exist. You don't slow, don't stop, don't investigate. You've seen enough wrecks, enough destruction, enough evidence of what happens when luck runs out, when probability catches up, when the silent threats stop being silent. But you notice details, can't help noticing. The way one wheel is missing, blown completely away. The way the steering wheel is melted, fused. The way snow has already begun to reclaim it, to cover it, to transform violence into landscape, death into scenery. How long until that wreck disappears completely? Months, years, decades from now, will anyone remember, will anyone know that someone died there, that someone's luck ended there, that someone's war ended there? The sky darkens. Not night, not yet, but weather, storm clouds gathering, heavy, gray, pregnant with snow or sleet, or freezing rain, any of which would make driving impossible, treacherous, fatal. You watch the clouds. Everyone watches the clouds, because weather is another enemy, another threat, another force beyond your control. Weather doesn't care about supply lines, about deadlines, about soldiers waiting. Weather does what it does, and you endure or you don't. The wind picks up, pushing against the truck's broadside. You fight it, steer into it, compensate constantly. The truck wants to drift, wants to slide, wants to leave the road. And you hold it there, keep it true, keep it moving forward, through force of will, through constant adjustment, through refusal to yield. This is the invisible work of driving, the constant, tiny, uncounted corrections, steering wheel turned left, then right, then left again, pressure on accelerator increasing, decreasing, increasing, brake touched lightly, released, touched again, clutch in, shift, clutch out, over and over and over, thousands of times per hour, tens of thousands per day, actions so small, so automatic, that you don't even register them. But without them, the truck stops, the mission fails, the war suffers. You are a link in a chain. This metaphor occurs to you, has occurred to you before, will occur again. You are one link. The chain stretches behind you. Supply depots, ports, factories, ships, mines, all the way back to resources extracted from Earth, from people working, building, creating, all flowing forward, through you to the front, and the chain stretches ahead. Other drivers, other trucks, distribution points, combat units, soldiers, weapons, ammunition expended, wounds treated, meals eaten, all depending on the chain holding, on every link maintaining integrity, on you, doing your job, driving your truck, delivering your cargo. Break one link, the chain fails, not entirely, not permanently. Other links compensate, other routes open, other drivers take over. But in that moment, for that delivery, for those soldiers, the break matters. The failure has consequence, real, measurable, deadly, so you don't break, can't break, want break, even when exhaustion pulls at you like gravity, even when fear whispers that continuing is impossible, even when your body screams for rest, for warmth, for safety, for anything except this endless driving, this endless cold, this endless danger. You continue because that's what you do. That's who you are, a link in the chain, a driver in the convoy, a soldier in a war that needs you, even if it never acknowledges you, even if history never records your name, even if no one ever knows. You know you were here, you know you drove, you know you delivered, you know you mattered, and sometimes, in quiet moments, in the space between threats, in the brief intervals of something approaching peace, that knowledge is enough, has to be enough, is all you have. The convoy drives through the afternoon, through the gathering storm, through the cold, through the invisible network of dangers that surround always, mines and bridges and exhaustion and fear, all waiting, all present, all patient, but also through beauty, strange as it is to think. There is beauty here too. The snow-covered landscape, pristine, untouched except by your tracks, the way light filters through clouds, soft, diffused, gentle, the ice crystals on your windshield, intricate, unique, perfect fractals of frozen water, a hawk circling overhead, hunting, surviving, indifferent to war, to convoys, to human struggles, just living, just being, just continuing its ancient patterns. These moments of beauty don't erase the danger, don't diminish the fear, but they exist alongside it, proof that the world contains more than war, that life persists, that somewhere, beyond this moment, beyond this road, beauty and peace and normalcy still exist, and might exist again, for you, someday, if you survive, if you continue, if you keep driving, mile after mile, threat after threat, day after day. Your eyelids grow heavy, so heavy the exhaustion is physical, tangible, like a weight on your chest, on your eyes, on your soul. The truck rocks gently, side to side. The rhythm hypnotic, soothing, dangerous. You could sleep so easily. Just let your eyes close. Just for a moment, just no, you shake your head, slap your face again. The sting brings clarity. You're awake. You're here. You're driving. The cargo behind you. The supplies. The soldiers waiting. The mission. The duty. These things keep you alert. Keep you present. Keep you going when everything else screams to stop. The road continues. Endless. Inevitable. Patient. And you continue with it. Into the storm. Into the cold, into the silent, waiting, invisible threats that surround, that threaten, that might or might not materialize, into the gathering darkness, into the unknown, into the necessary, dangerous, essential work of survival. Your breath comes slow and steady. Your hands hold the wheel with practiced ease. Your eyes watch the road with dulled but present awareness, and you drift, just slightly, just enough, into the rhythm, into the motion, into the gentle, rocking, hypnotic state that is both driving and dreaming, both awake and asleep, both here and far away. The convoy continues, the wheels turn, the war goes on, and you are part of it, a small piece, a necessary piece, a surviving piece, for now, for this moment, for this mile, and the next, and the next, and the next, into the soft, peaceful, quiet darkness that waits, patient, inevitable, just beyond the edge of consciousness, just beyond reach, just beyond. The road home, the convoy stops, finally, truly, completely, after 30 hours of driving, 32, 36. You've lost all ability to measure time. Your truck rolls to a halt at the forward staging area. The destination, the end, the place where your cargo is needed, where your journey concludes. You sit for a moment, unable to move. Your hands still grip the wheel. Your foot still presses the brake. Your body doesn't understand that stopping is real, that the driving has ended, that you can rest. Around you, the convoy disperses. Trucks find positions, park in designated areas, under camouflage netting. Engines finally shut down. The silence is shocking, profound, after so many hours of noise, of vibration, of motion. The stillness feels wrong, unnatural. You turn the key, your engine dies, the truck settles, exhales. The metal ticks as it cools, contracting, relaxing, the machine at rest, the machine surviving another journey. You try to open the door. Your fingers want work properly, want grip the handle. They've been clutching the wheel so long, in the same position so long. that they've forgotten other shapes, other purposes. You have to use both hands, have to force movement, have to remember how to be human instead of driver. The door opens, cold air rushes in, you step down, your legs buckle completely, no strength, no stability. You grab the door, hold yourself up, wait for circulation to return, for muscles to remember their function. Other drivers are in similar states, climbing down slowly, carefully. Some sit on running boards, unable to stand. Some lean against their trucks, grateful for the support, all silent, all exhausted beyond words, beyond expression. Supply officers approach, clipboards in hand. They check cargo, verify loads, direct trucks to unloading areas. They're fresh, rested, their uniforms clean. They haven't driven 30 hours, haven't survived what you survived, but they're efficient, professional, doing their part, just as you did yours. You watch as soldiers unload your truck. They work quickly. Teams of men lifting crates, passing boxes, stacking supplies. They're grateful. You can see it. These supplies mean survival, mean ammunition for weapons, medicine for wounded, food for hungry, everything they need, everything you brought. One soldier, young, younger than you, pauses, makes eye contact, nods, just a small gesture, acknowledgement, thanks. It's brief, wordless, but it matters. Someone sees you, someone knows. The unloading takes 20 minutes. Then your truck is empty, the cargo bed hollow, light, your mission complete, your duty fulfilled. You delivered, you survived, you succeeded. An officer directs you to a rest area, a field where trucks park, where drivers can sleep, can eat, can exist for a few hours before the journey back, before it all begins again. You drive there slowly. This short distance feels longer than the miles before. Your body is shutting down, adrenaline depleting, reserves exhausted. You park, set the brake, turn off the engine, this time permanently, this time with permission, this time with relief. You sit in the silence, just breathing, just existing, just feeling the absence of motion, the absence of responsibility, the absence of immediate danger. Your hands shake. You notice them on your lap, trembling uncontrollably. This happens sometimes, after, when the stress releases, when the body understands it's safe, temporarily safe. All the fear, all the tension, all the suppressed terror comes out as shaking, as tremors, as physical expression of what you couldn't feel while driving. You let it happen. Don't fight it. Don't judge it. This is normal. This is survival. This is what happens when you push beyond limits, when you exist in danger for too long, when you finally stop. Eventually, the shaking subsides. Your breathing slows. Your heart rate decreases. You feel hollowed out, empty, like all the energy that kept you going has drained away, leaving only exhaustion, pure, complete, overwhelming. You should eat. You know this. Your body needs fuel, needs calories, needs nutrition, but the thought of food, of chewing, of swallowing, feels impossible, takes energy you don't have. You should find a tent, find shelter, but moving requires effort, requires decision, requires something you lack right now, so you stay, in your seat, in your truck, in the familiar space that has been your world, your home, your existence. Your eyes close. You don't decide to close them. They simply give up. Surrender. The lid's too heavy to hold open any longer. And you sleep. Finally, truly, deeply. Not the half-sleep of driving, not the restless dozing of breaks, but real sleep, unconscious, complete. Your body claiming what it needs, what it's been denied, what it cannot function without. You sleep sitting up, in a cold truck cab, in a forward staging area, in a war zone. And yet, it's the best sleep of your life. Because it's real, because it's earned, because you survive to experience it. Hours pass. You don't dream, or if you do, you don't remember. There's only darkness, absence, rest. When you wake, stiff and disoriented. The light has changed. Time has passed. How much? You don't know, don't care. You slept. You rested. That's enough. You climb out of the truck, properly this time. Your body more functional, still exhausted, still aching, but capable, present. You find a water point, fill your canteen, drink deeply. The water is cold, clean, life-giving. You drink until your stomach hurts, until you can't hold more. Food appears. Distributed by mess personnel, hot food. Actual hot food, soup, thick, with vegetables and meat, or something approximating meat. You eat from your mess kit, standing in the cold, and it's delicious, not because of taste, but because it's hot, because it's sustaining, because it's proof of continued life. Around you, other drivers do the same, eating, drinking, existing. You're all ghosts, hollow-eyed, gaunt, but alive, still here. Conversation is minimal. What would you say? How would you describe what you've experienced? What words would capture the reality of the road, the truth of survival, the strange mix of boredom and terror that define the journey? So you eat in silence, in community without words, in the shared understanding of those who've traveled the same road, faced the same dangers, carried the same weight. You think about the soldiers who received your cargo, the ones who will use those supplies, fire that ammunition, eat those rations, apply those bandages. They won't think about you, won't know your name, won't understand the journey that brought those supplies to them. And that's okay. That's right. That's how it should be. They have their role. You have yours. Everyone contributes. Everyone matters. Even if acknowledgement never comes. Even if history never records. Even if no one ever knows. You think about the truck, your truck. Lucky lady, or whatever her name is, still sitting there, scarred, battered, but intact, ready after rest, after maintenance, after fuel, to make the journey again, and again, and again. How many miles has she traveled? How many drivers has she carried? How many deliveries has she completed? She's a veteran too. In her way, a silent participant in war's logistics, in humanity's strange need to organize, to supply, to sustain destruction. You think about the road, the endless road, and you realize with sudden clarity that you're going back tomorrow or the next day or whenever orders come. Y'all climb back into that cab. Start that engine. Join another convoy. Make another journey through cold and danger and exhaustion. Again and again. Until the war ends or you end, whichever comes first. This knowledge should terrify you, should overwhelm you, but instead, You feel acceptance, resolution. This is your war. This is your service. This is what you do, not heroic, not glorious, not memorable, just necessary, essential, real. You think about all the drivers, the thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, all across this war, on every front, in every theater, all driving, all delivering, all surviving or not surviving, all part of the vast, invisible, critical network that makes warfare possible. Without drivers, armies cannot move. Without logistics, strategy means nothing. Without supply, combat fails. This is the truth that military historians often miss, that public memory often forgets, that monuments rarely acknowledge. War is not just battles, it's infrastructure, it's organization, it's the unglamorous work of moving materials from here to there, of keeping systems functioning, of ensuring that needs are met. And that work falls to people like you, ordinary people, given trucks, given routes, given responsibility, and told, drive, deliver, survive if you can. Some do survive. You've survived, so far, others don't. You've seen the wrecks, the evidence, the proof that luck runs out, that probability catches up, that not everyone makes it home. But you try not to think about home, not directly, not specifically, because home is a dream, a memory, a place that exists only in your mind now, separated from you by distance, by time, by the gulf between who you were and who you've become. Will you go home someday when this ends? If this ends, if you survive, what will that be like? Will you recognize it? Will it recognize you? Can you return to a place when you're no longer the person who left? These questions are too large, too complex, too painful, so you set them aside. Focus on the present, on the immediate, on what you can control, which is very little, really. You can control your actions, your effort, your commitment, but not outcomes, not safety, not survival. All you can do is your job, to the best of your ability, with whatever resources you have, for however long you're able, and hope, or pray, or simply trust that it's enough. The light fades, evening comes, the temperature drops. You should find real shelter now, a tent, a building, somewhere warmer than your truck cab. But part of you wants to stay in the truck, in the familiar space, the place that has kept you safe, that has carried you through, that feels in a strange way like home. You compromise. You take your bedroll, spread it in the cargo bed, under the canvas top, protected from wind, from snow, from the worst of the cold, not comfortable, but sufficient. Better than the cab, better than nothing. You lie down, on hard metal, under rough canvas, in a war zone, in winter, in exhaustion, and somehow you feel peace, brief, temporary, fragile, but real. You look up at the canvas, at the darkness beyond, at the stars you can't quite see but know are there, eternal, indifferent, watching, and you think, if someone were to ask you, years from now, decades from now, when all of this is history, when you're old and these memories have faded to impressions, to feelings more than facts, if someone were to ask, what was your war like? What would you say? Would you describe the cold, the endless cold that never left, that lived in your bones? Would you describe the exhaustion, the kind that becomes normal, that becomes baseline, that you forget you're experiencing until rest comes and you realize how depleted you truly were. Would you describe the fear, the constant, invisible, accumulating fear that changed you, that made you different, that stays with you always? Or would you describe the pride, the strange, quiet, uncelebrated pride of doing necessary work, of contributing, of mattering in ways that no one acknowledges but that you know, were real? Would you try to explain what it felt like to be essential and invisible, to carry the weight of war without carrying weapons, to survive dangers without fighting battles? Would anyone understand? Could anyone understand unless they'd been there, done that, driven that road? Probably not. Probably you'd say something simple, something insufficient. I drove trucks. I delivered supplies. I did my part. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all that can be said. Maybe the full truth, the deep truth, the lived truth is something that can only be known, not spoken. You close your eyes, the questions fade, the thoughts slow, the exhaustion returns, pulling you down, down into darkness, into rest, into the peaceful oblivion of sleep. Your breathing deepens, your body relaxes, your mind releases, lets go, surrenders to the inevitable, the necessary, the healing darkness. Tomorrow will come with its demands, its dangers, its duties, but tonight you rest, tonight you sleep, tonight you exist without fear, without responsibility, without anything except breath and heartbeat and the slow, gentle, inevitable drift into unconsciousness. The wind whispers through the canvas, a soft, rhythmic sound, like breathing, like singing, like the voice of the road itself, calling, waiting, patient, but not tonight. Tonight you're still. Tonight you're safe. Tonight you're home. In whatever way home can exist here, in this place, in this time. Your eyelids grow heavy, so heavy, heavier than lead, heavier than responsibility, heavier than war itself, and you drift, drift, drift into sleep, into peace, into the deep, restful, healing darkness that holds you, that keeps you, that promises, for tonight at least, safety, rest, survival. The stars wheel overhead, unseen, uncaring, eternal. The war continues, somewhere, always, but here, now, for you, there is only sleep, only darkness, only the soft, gentle, endless night, and somewhere, in that darkness, in that peace, in that moment between waking and sleeping, a question whispers, soft as breath, quiet as snow. If you were behind that wheel, carrying that cargo, facing those dangers, living that life, how would you carry the weight of the war? Would you find strength? Would you find purpose? Would you find meaning in the daily, unglamorous, essential work? Would you survive? Would you endure? Would you continue, mile after mile, day after day, journey after journey? The question hangs, unanswered, unanswerable, real, and you sleep, finally, deeply, completely, in the peaceful, quiet darkness that holds all questions, all answers, all soldiers, all drivers, all survivors, all those who carried the weight and carried it forward into history, into memory, into the long, silent, necessary road that brought them here, that took them home, that made them forever part of something larger, something essential, something that mattered. Your breath comes slow and steady. Your heart beats soft and sure. Your body rests, truly rests, for the first time in days. And the night holds you, keeps you, whispers, rest, rest, rest. You've earned it. You've survived. You've delivered. Rest now, sleep now, dream now, of roads that end, of journeys complete, of wait finally set down, rest, sleep, peace, the darkness.